Elizabeth Hasselbeck of Fox News invited on two guests to discuss a new proposal in Utah which makes kids pass a citizenship test before they graduate high school. Now, not only do I think that's a good idea, I think that we should bring back civics class and make it mandatory so that kids know everything about our political system, just like they would have to know how to read and write and do basic math and stuff like that. So I'm very much in favor of bringing back civics class. So this proposal in Utah is not a bad proposal, but of course, Fox News, in typical Fox fashion, took a decent idea, shit all over it, went too far, and made it a horrible idea.
Here to take on a new requirement for students. People are looking into them passing a citizenship test before they actually get a diploma. So we're going to take that one step further. Do they need it to graduate? Do they need it to vote? Joining me now, Whitney Neal, spokeswoman for the Bill of Rights Institute, and Lorena Rifo-Jensen, co-chairman of the Utah Civics Education Initiative, the group working to pass this rule in Utah. Thanks for being with us this morning here. Whitney, I'm going to start with you. Should this citizenship test, should that actually be required to graduate high school?
Well, I think, civics education is a huge important issue, but I think requiring a test to measure if we've actually improved civic knowledge is a Band-Aid. It doesn't actually address the problem. We're in the middle of, learning that standardized testing is limiting some children from achieving their full potential, and we want to add another test as a measurement mechanism. I think we're missing the root of the problem here, and that's engaging kids with civics and with government rather than just giving them another arbitrary test.
What about if we took it one step further, as I just mentioned, into voting? Should you have to answer, the majority of these questions, if not by graduation of high school, but by the time you vote?
She just asked if we should bring back poll tests. Yeah, we had them once, Elizabeth. You know what happened with them? They were used in the South to prevent black people from voting. It was nothing but a giant scam. So if a white voter showed up, they would just, okay, go right ahead, no problem, vote. You're probably going to vote Republican. We're all for that. Go ahead. If a black person showed up, they'd ask them the most ridiculous questions imaginable. And then when they couldn't answer them, sorry, you failed the test. Guess you can't vote. And also, doesn't this brazenly violate the idea of one man, one vote? Isn't this clearly anti-democratic? Now, of course, it makes sense for the population to be educated and to understand the issues, clearly, and we should do that in school. But even if they don't understand the issues, if you use that as an excuse to not let them vote, then what you're going to do is you're going to create a permanent underclass, and you're going to create a system that's even more of an oligarchy or a kleptocracy. You're going to create a system where the elites rule everybody. There are other terms for that system. Okay, to have one ruling class and one singular head of the state that controls everything is called fascism. But I love how they casually discuss an anti-democratic idea. Meanwhile, in the next segment, they'll go out there and talk about it. Well, we love the Constitution, except the part about the heart of the nation, which is democracy. That part, not sold on. Everything else, though, we love. Guns, Second Amendment, that's fantastic. But I don't like democracy, and I don't like one man, one vote. And also, look, again, you should be educated, absolutely, and which is why I said I would be in favor of mandating teaching civics class. But let's say you don't know who wrote the Constitution. Let's say you don't know too much about the Founding Fathers. Does that really affect your view today as to whether or not you're in favor of war? Does that really affect your view today as to how strong the social safety net should be? No, it doesn't, right? You can have an opinion on war. You can have an opinion on the benefits of unemployment benefits without knowing a detailed history of the United States of America. Again, you should know it, and which is why I said mandate civics class and bring it back. But this idea that you use that as an excuse not to let people vote, well, that's ridiculous. And also, who the fuck would make the test? If there's a Democratic administration in power at the state level or at the federal level and the Democrats control everything, you're going to have a test biased in favor of the Democrats. And then all of a sudden the Republicans and people on Fox News would hate the idea of a poll test. And then when you flip it, when the Republicans get power everywhere, we already know the Republicans would bias it in favor of themselves because they did in the South. And they did to bias against African-American voters because they knew they would vote Democratic. So whoever has power would bias the test in their favor. They love to live in this theoretical world where if we had a poll test, it would be a perfectly objective poll test and has nothing but fair questions and just question whether or not you're smart enough to be able to vote. But we don't live in this theoretical world. We live in the real world where human beings have bad intentions and bad motivations and personal biases. And I don't trust anybody to make the test because they're going to bias it in some direction. But this is Fox News. They take ideas that are dead for a reason. There's a reason why an idea like poll testing is dead. It's wildly undemocratic. It was wildly racist. It's an insane idea that can be perverted in so many ways, but they have to resurrect bad, stupid ideas and debate them because it's Fox News. Because nobody on Fox News knows anything about the world and knows anything about political science, knows anything about history. I bet you they don't even know that there was already poll testing in the American South. They don't know. They have no fucking clue, or else they wouldn't have done the segment. But that's what Fox is. They're just a bunch of fucking morons, from everybody that's producing the show to all the hosts. Let's discuss brand new idea we just came up with, people. This never existed before. Should we give people tests before they vote?